Hello, and welcome to my ePortfolio. My name is Anne Harbottle, and I have been a teacher for many years. However, in the last 2 years, I decided to pursue my master's in education technology. I decided to get my master's because I have a firm belief that all students can learn, but that some require different tools in order to reach their fullest potential. I believe technology, in its different forms, can be the tool that levels the learning playing field for many students. This ePortfolio is my grad project or culminating project to complete my Master's in Education from the University of British Columbia. I intended it to be a showcase for my learning throughout the entire program. However, as it turns out, it can also act as a thank you to all my family members that have supported my learning these past 2 years. Let's enter into my portfolio. I would not have started my master's if it wasn't for the love and support of my fiance Paul, who is right here. It was his encouragement that gave me the courage to enter this program. He is an iron worker by trade, but loves to tell everyone that we are taking our masters. As I began the process of creating this ePortfolio, I really struggled to find a metaphor for my learning. However, the more I reflected on my learning, the more I started to see the connections between Paul's trade as an iron worker and my learning in the Masters of Education Technology, or MET program. Once I decided to use the ironworker as my metaphor for this process of creating an ePortfolio, the whole project became more exciting because I decided not to tell Paul until it was finished in order to surprise him and thank him for all his support. The metaphor of an ironworker and this ePortfolio are divided into sections. Each section is listed here. The 4 main ones are planning, quality control, building, teamwork. Let's go into planning. Each section has what I would call a landing page. The landing page is just a quick explanation to the section and how it relates to ironworking and to teaching. It also then introduces learning artifacts, which are the different assignments that I have completed during the MET courses. If a person wanting to just get a quick overview from my ePortfolio, you could just stay on this page and then go to the next section using this button. However, if you want a more in-depth and to really see my reflection on my learning, you will click this button. Going into this section, you get my learning artifacts. At the top is a reflection about planning in general or quality control in general and how it relates to teaching and to ironworking. Then as you scroll down, on the right-hand side is the learning artifact. It can be a research paper, it can be a website. On the left-hand side is my reflection. The reflection is what I learned and how it relates back to the ironworking metaphor. Within the reflections, I've included links. This one is used to help explain some of the short forms for the different courses in the MET program. ETEC 500, Research Methodology in Education, is more explained on the UBC website that this link links to. In addition, you can get more information on Kurzweil 3000 from this link. You will find them throughout this ePortfolio in hopes that they will help clarify some terminology used within it. During creation of this ePortfolio, I noticed that I had a lot of learning artifacts that could fit into each of the sections. I decided to limit myself to a maximum of about 4 per section in order to focus on either my favorites or learning artifacts that I actually did the most learning or had the most challenge with. I thought this would enable me to keep the page clear and concise and user-friendly. So if you scroll down, once you've seen all of these artifacts, you'll get a button that will go to the next section. I tried to incorporate as many pictures that have Paul in them in order to keep that feel of a personal ePortfolio. And most of them have Paul doing something. The next section after quality control is building. And these artifacts are of the different videos I've created throughout my program. I find these videos very important to me because I've used them in my classroom teaching, but also I've used them in my professional development teaching other teachers how to use technology or how to incorporate technology. Finally, you have the teamwork section, which are a lot of my group-based projects that happen throughout the different courses in MET. You learn a lot from working with other people, and I find that though they are difficult to organize everybody because we are students from around the world, you get a lot of different perspectives, and it really does broaden your learning environment working in a group. Finally, I have my final reflection, which I entitled Welding. I've divided this final reflection into 2 pieces. The first piece is research and theory that has been welded, which is a fitting term because it is in my brain for years to come. The 3 pieces are constructivism, which is a theory I was very unfamiliar with before starting this program. However, after reading numerous articles and writing different lessons plans using constructivism, I'm way more comfortable using it within my own teaching and find that I use it more and use the Buck Institute for Project-Based Learning to help guide my teaching. The second piece of theory that I have welded into my brain is by Terry Anderson and his theory of online learning. It really helps a teacher remember and keep cognizant of all the different components to a good learning environment, be it an assessment-centered or community-centered, and also the different interactions that happen within a good learning environment. Finally, the theory of the technological pedagogical content knowledge. This TPAC visual and theory was a real turning point in my learning in the MET program. Before then, I was distracted by new and flashy technology, and after reading this article, I am more inclined to be methodical in choosing my technology in order to make sure that it's the proper technology for the pedagogical reasons, and making sure that they work hand in hand, the technology and the content pedagogical knowledge, so that I make the best learning environment possible for my students. Finally, I have my final reflection, which goes over some challenges and the stumbling blocks that I had and learning pieces throughout this ePortfolio process. There's Paul again. You'll notice that there's 2 sections here. This is the reference section, which I have linked to throughout the ePortfolio, but they are academically referenced on this page. However, there's the assessment and evaluation page. In order to qualify for the next category in the Teacher Qualification Service of British Columbia, I have to fulfill some requirements. And I have created an assessment rubric in order to ensure that I have completed those requirements. I've used the qualifiers that I would use in my own teaching when evaluating my students as well. I want to thank you for listening to my video and hope that you learned something while you read my reflections on my learning. I also want to take this moment to thank my family for all their patience and love and support throughout the last 2 years. Thank you.